The little robot's head came off in her hands again, and Mila caught it the way you'd catch a sleeping child. She set it on the felt pad, wiped the oil from its cracked ceramic cheek with her thumb, and reached for the soldering iron before its optic had even finished dimming. "You did the door frame again," she told it softly. "Third time this week. You're not a forklift, Tuck. You never were." The robot didn't answer. It couldn't anymore. But the little servo in its jaw ticked twice in the dark, the closest thing it had left to a nod. Mila worked the night bay alone, the way she had for 2 years. Rennet was a salvage world, a whole planet of other people's broken things dumped in red dust that got into everything. Your teeth, your seams, the valleys of your knuckles. By day, the yard belonged to the shouting foreman. By night, it belonged to her and one battered drone that broke down like clockwork and limped back every dawn on 3 good wheels and a prayer. She was the best welder on Rennet and the most beautiful woman most had ever seen. Deep violet skin that caught the solder light like poured amethyst, huge dark eyes, a face that made the foreman forget their sentences. She used it never. Beauty didn't fix a coolant line. Patience did. Every dawn, Tuck broke. Every night, she brought it back. The neighbors had a saying for it, the violet welder cries over garbage. She'd heard it once, walking past the mess line, and hadn't slowed down. Let 'em say it. Strong people don't get to keep the ones they love. They just get very good at soldering. The human arrived on a Tuesday, which meant nothing to her because Rennet had no Tuesdays, but he insisted on calling it one anyway. His name was Owen Hart, sent by the reclamation contract to audit the yard's machinery. Tall, sun-browned, a jaw like a dropped anvil, forearms scarred from reaching into things that were still hot. He shook her hand like he meant it, got grease on his palm, and didn't wipe it off. They told me the night welder was a miracle worker. They didn't mention she'd make me feel like a hack.
"They exaggerate," Mila said. "I've never fixed anything. I only delay it." He laughed. She hadn't meant it as a joke. For 6 nights, Owen audited by day, and because he couldn't sleep in the contractor bunks, wandered down to her bay by night with 2 cups of something he called coffee, mostly rust-flavored water, and watched her hands. She let the talk wash over her. It was easier than her own thoughts. But he noticed things. That was the trouble with him. That drone's a Class 2 loader, 40 years obsolete. Parts cost more than a working unit. Yard should have scrapped it years ago. "They tried," Mila said. "I bought it back, off the ledger, with everything I had."
She didn't explain, and he was decent enough not to push. But Owen Hart couldn't unsee a pattern once it snagged him. "You weld the wheels, the frame, the arms," he said on the 4th night, nodding at the sealed gray box at the center of the drone's chest. "But you never go near that. You'd splint a strut my hand before you'd let heat within a foot of it. And that servo in its jaw keeps ticking after you power the thing down. That's a comms unit. A loader this old shouldn't have one. So why does this one have it?" "Because I like the sound," which was true and also a door closing. He heard both and let it go. Except the next night, meaning to help, he reached for the gray box himself, just to run a diagnostic, he said. Mila crossed the bay before she knew she was moving and put her hand flat over the housing between his fingers and the seal. Her hand was shaking. His wasn't. He drew back slowly, palms open, the way you back away from something you finally understand isn't a machine. He kept coming, though. One night he left a folded blanket on the crate, and neither of them mentioned it, and it was there every night after. He never reached for the box again, but she caught him looking at it the way you look at a locked door in a house you've started to love. She knew the question was coming. And on the last night, gently, he asked it straight. "Mila, it breaks every single day. You fix it every single night. 2 years. He looked at the little dented head on her felt pad. Who did it used to be? Her iron stopped moving. Not what, but who. "I'll tell you tomorrow," she said. The only kindness she had left. One more night before it was said out loud and became real. He nodded, didn't push, and came back the next evening and waited. And Mila found she could delay everything except this.
"My grandmother's voice is in the core," she said. "Her name was Senna, the most beautiful old woman you ever saw, violet gone silver. When the Suvari colony ships failed over Rennet, she ran the evacuation from this drone's comm seat. 40,000 people in the dark, guidance dead, and she talked them all down by voice, ship by ship, 9 hours. Left rudder, little one, you're doing fine." 40,000 alive because an old woman would not stop talking. She touched its cracked cheek. When she died, they were going to wipe the unit and scrap it. But the recorder still had her, every word from that night. So I bought the machine, because you can't buy a voice, only the box it's trapped in. It's ancient. Every cold start loses a little. If it powers down for good, the cord degrades and she's gone. So I keep it running. I keep her warm. Her hand trembled once. Last week, all I got was the sound of her breathing. Owen said nothing for a long time. He didn't tell her it was illogical or beyond repair, or that she should let go. He said, "You're doing it wrong."
She flinched, but he was already crouching, talking fast the way humans did when they'd stopped filling silence and started filling a problem. The cold start is what's eating her. Every time you power it up cold, you lose a little more. You're loving her to death. He touched the gray box, with her nod this time. Reclamation isn't scrapping. It's getting what matters out of the thing that's dying. We image the core onto storage that never degrades, every sector, static and breathing and left rudder. Then Tuck gets to stop, not scrapped, retired. And you could finally hear the whole night, start to finish. You never have you? No, she whispered. I was afraid of where it ended. It took them until dawn. Owen imaged the core sector by sector, splicing a reader out of 3 dead ones because he would not accept that a thing could not be done. When the red sun came up and turned the rust almost to gold, the slate chimed. Whole. Every sector. Clean. Mila plugged it in with hands that would not stay steady. And in the quiet morning bay, an old woman's voice, violet, gone silver, warm as a hand on the back of your neck, said, "Ship 40. Last one. Left rudder, little one. You're doing fine. You're all doing fine. Bring them home." Mila wept. And it was not the crying of someone breaking. It was the crying of someone finally setting something heavy down. Owen put a hand on her shoulder, got grease on his palm, and didn't wipe it off. They didn't scrap Tuck. They stood it in the corner of the bay, retired with full honors from a war nobody had declared. Owen filed the paperwork and listed the salvage value as priceless, which got the form rejected 3 times. He didn't leave when the audit ended. When she asked why, he said the coffee was terrible and someone had to fix it. It was the worst reason she'd ever heard. He agreed and stayed. On that first quiet morning, she lifted the little robot's dark head one more time, gently, the way you'd cradle something sleeping, and touched the cracked ceramic cheek with her thumb. A single tear slid down and caught the low light of the cooling iron and held there a moment, violet and gold. "You can rest now, Tuck. We're all home." And for once, she didn't reach for the solder. Owen's reclamation form is, at last report, still rejected. He now lists Tuck's salvage value as 1 priceless grandmother, and the Galactic Accounting Office has opened a formal inquiry into the word priceless, which Owen considers a personal victory. If this one got you, drop a like and subscribe. It genuinely means the galaxy to this little community. New story tomorrow. Tony.